from Custom Tech PCs with a product review today, the first one of the channel, so I'm quite excited to do it. I'm quite excited about the product in general. This is a brand new case by Aerocool, Project 7 or the P7-C1. It's a tempered glass edition in black, also available in white. So without further ado, let's crack on with the unboxing. Unboxing done. I don't know if you like me guys, but personally I don't like the reviews where they cut the box open, take the protective packaging off. You've clicked on this video to watch one thing in particular, and that is the case itself. So as you can see, looking at it straight away here, it's a tempered glass edition. It's quite minimalistic. I like that about it. All black. We've got plastic tops, plastic feet and front. The rest of it is a steel chassis. We've got 4 thumb screws that hold the tempered glass on. So we'll whip them off quickly. Have a look inside. Nice and simple. The glass has actually got these rubber grommets or rubber inserts that I suppose are going to help with the vibration noises, etc. The tempered glass is smoked. It's 5mm thick. And moving on, we can see the inside now. I like the features here, like these slats, the mesh grill. We've also got it along the bottom here, and some other vents here, like they sort of continuing the theme as they go through. Inside we can see it's all black. The paintwork is really good actually. I'm really impressed. Some cheaper cases at the lower end of the market, you tend to find, if you study it, some missing pieces, or it's not quite covered correctly with the paint, but they've actually done a real good job of this. It's a real nice finish, so I like that. You've got support here. You've got 2 cages which are removable on thumb screws for SSDs, and we've also got a little hole down the back of this sort of basement floor, I suppose you could call it, so we can route cables through, etc. The case supports, it's a mid-tower case, so it supports ATX, micro ATX and mini ITX. We've got support for a 240mm radiator in the top, or 2 120mm fans if you're doing an air-cooled build. In the front you can support a 360mm, or again you could have 3 120mm fans just as intakes, also 2 140s, and in the rear you can support a 120mm exhaust fan. You've got a little cut out here down in the basement floor. Let's put it where you can see it. A little basement floor. I would say, judging by that, if the fans have to go on the inside, which it looks like they do, I would say 45mm radiator, maximum thickness. It doesn't actually specify on the box. I've had a quick look at the box before the video. It doesn't actually specify a radiator thickness, but I would presume, looking at it, a 45mm. By the time you've got a 25mm fan, you're then going to be encroaching on this cutout. So I don't think you'd go much thicker than that. Correct me down in the comments if I'm wrong, but looking at it, I wouldn't say you're going to get much more. Moving up here, we've got this little cutout. Now, rather than grommets like a lot of cases, this has actually got a feature implanted into the chassis. Then, if that is the right terminology to use, it's sort of raised out from the case, so your cables can route through, and then obviously go to your motherboard and your various components, etc. So yeah, it's quite a nice little feature, rather than your grommets. I don't know how it's going to work when the build's done, because I think you may see a lot of cable here going to your various parts, so we'll have a look at that when we actually do a build. We will be doing a build in this. This is actually a client's case which they said I could review, as I haven't done a review for any Aerocool cases actually in particular. Moving around to the back, it's pretty basic. We've got your power supply that actually goes in under that basement floor, so it isolates it from the rest of the build. You can hide a lot of the cables, the excess length, and make it look a lot neater, so I like that feature. 2 thumb screws are going to slide the PCI retention bracket back, so you can get your graphics card and expansion cards, etc. into place. We've got the power supply obviously down here, your I/O. We've got a little ventilation area here for the exhaust on the top, or a radiator, etc. Moving around to the back, we've just got a plain feature. We can see this, the grills, the mesh grills again. And if we just open up the inside of the back, we'll take a look at the back. Literally 2 thumb screws, slide it towards you, it's going to pop off. So we'll set that aside. Moving around to the back, we've got a nice big cutout, so you could actually change your air cooler or IO cooler, or your custom block. You can actually get to the back plate that would sit behind the motherboard without actually having to remove it. There's plenty of room there. Quite like that. Makes life easier. Here we've got a assortment of cables. We've got your RGB connector for 12 volts, so you could actually add additional RGB lighting via this connector. There is a button on top to turn the lights on and off. We'll get round to the front in a minute, but the front illuminates with an RGB lighting all the way around with various colours. We've got some Molex connectors, I would believe, for the RGBs. If we actually just disconnect this, we can have a proper look at what we've got here all together. So yeah, we've got an assortment of cables for the RGB. We've got your front I/O connectors, etc. Pretty standard basic stuff. This connector here is coming from the front lighting. We can add an additional RGB strip if we required. You've got your front I/Os, you've got your audio, your USB 2, USB 3. Down in the basement, obviously, we've got stacks of room to put our power supply and all of our additional cables underneath. In the back, you will find located the user manual, and then obviously some screws, fittings, etc. for the case. We can support 2 3.5-inch conventional hard drives or SSDs. There's also an additional 2 brackets here, so we could put SSDs on the back if you didn't want them located on the front, for a neater looking build, etc. This 3.5-inch drive does remove should you require it, some more room, etc. Let's say you're doing a water-cooled build, for instance, and you wanted to mount a pump. There is actually some holes there pre-drilled for mounting your pumps. Let's try that again. On the bottom of the power supply, you do have, for the inlet there for the air, you do have a filter, so that is removable. Obviously you can clean that. I quite like the feet here where it's raised off the ground, so obviously if you were sitting this on carpet, the feet would actually stop you blocking the airflow for the power supply, so there's no harm in running the power supply facing down. As that is an issue with if you're mounting your case, or sitting your case on carpet, should I say. So I like that. That is, to me, it looks a bit like some of the Corsair cases that are on the market at the moment. Is it the 780T, I believe it's called. Moving around to the front, pretty basic, minimalistic, I quite like it. We've got this white ring that runs all the way around, which, like I say, is RGB, so it illuminates. You've got your red, green, blue, yellow, etc. All your various RGB colouring, so that's going to illuminate this entire front panel, which I think is quite a nice feature. Apart from that, pretty basic, plastic surround, and obviously we've got our front grille here for the intake fans. It's also got a dust filter, which is obviously removable by popping the front panel off, so obviously that can be cleaned. What else to say about it, really, guys? I don't know. It's just a quick review, really. I quite like the case. Up until now, the cases I've seen from Aerocool kind of have aimed at the lower end of the market, sort of around the £40–50, some cheaper, that sort of area. But they do a lot of cube cases, etc. I've actually used a couple of them for personal builds for myself. I do like this case. I really like it. The feature of the tempered glass, which does seem to be becoming the norm now. If you've ever, or most of you probably have, got an acrylic side panel, when you start to dust it or clean it off, you get scratches and imperfections. And if you've got a real nice build inside, the last thing you want is some deep scratches or scratches in general over your acrylic panel. So I like the fact that tempered glass is now becoming the normal cases. Just means that you can use some glass polish, clean it up, and obviously it's gonna complement the rest of your build really nicely. So I do like that feature. Again, a feature that I've touched on, but I do like this sort of basement idea where you can isolate your power supply. It just makes it look neater, and you can see the things that you really want to see, just your motherboard, you know, your graphics card, and you know, that's really all you want to see. You don't want to be seeing all these horrible wires, etc. So I think that's going to make cable routing really nice. Just having a quick look at the top, if we turn the case over quickly. You've got this grilled feature again with this, you know, this mesh system for exhausting. It, you know, sort of continues with the feature of the rest of the slats that you can see then. 2 USB 2 and 2 USB 3s. You've got your power reset. We've got HD audio and microphone, headphone and microphone. We've also got a SD card slot, so card reader. We can control the RGB lighting, etc. You can cycle through the various colours, and you can also switch it on or off should you require it. Like I say, guys, this is a client's case, and I am going to be doing a build in it. It's going to be an air-cooled build. The client's got a son who is thinking about getting into PC gaming, and I'm always keen to try and encourage newcomers, and so they can experience PC gaming. It's a fun experience. We went for the big glass panel because he's, you know, he really wants to. He's really interested and intrigued by PCs. So I thought with the glass panel, he's able to look in with some RGB lighting that we're going to be throwing in. He will be able to look at his various components, etc., and get an idea, you know, from a newcomer's perspective of how a PC works, how it all ties in, what does what, etc. He's only a young lad, so he's only going to be playing games like Minecraft, etc. So we're going to be doing, you know, a simple air-cooled build for him that's easy to maintain. And then, you know, it's so we'll get a build together. I will document the video. We'll do a build log, and then I can give you, you know, a real honest opinion of what I think of the case, what it's like to build in. Does it work? Doesn't it? You know, it's. Because you see a lot of reviews, they tell you the features of the case, which we could easily find out online. But it's always nice to see a build and actually see how much space you have to work with. So, like I say, we'll do a build log. We'll come back. I'll give my final thoughts on the case, how I think it turned out, etc. So, anyway, guys, that is the Aerocool Project 7. I really appreciate you coming and checking out the videos. You know, drop down some comments, hit that like if you liked it, hit that dislike if you didn't, and I will see you soon.